So you want to change the spring in your shiny new S&T SMLE. Well, first of all, you're going to need some tools, namely a screwdriver set, a hammer, a punch, although an Allen key can be used at pinch, a pair of tweezers, and a pair of needle nose pliers. Now to start, we need to remove the two screws holding in the nose cap. With those removed, we can slide the nose cap off. Now we can remove the front sling loop, allowing us to open the barrel band and take that off, which means we can now take our upper handguard off. Now let's flip it over and focus on the bottom of the rifle, taking out the magwell screw and the trigger guard screw, allowing us to take the magwell insert off of the rifle, and with that out of the way, we can now take the lower handguard screw out and remove the lower handguard. So now comes the part where we need the punch. Use it to tap out the spring guide stopper, and now we can use a crosshead to remove the 4 screws holding the trigger box in place. With that out of the way, we can slide the cylinder far enough back that we can use our tweezers to gently pry off the C-clip holding the loading fin in place, and then take this loading fin off the front of the cylinder. This allows us to slide the cylinder out the back of the receiver. Now we can use our needle nose pliers to unscrew the cylinder head and get access to our piston and spring. Now I'm going to be reinstalling the same spring here. For reference, this is a TML96 M130 spring. I found it to be a smoother pull and about the same power as the stock spring. As you can see here, the stock spring has bowed a bit more even though it's shorter, and it sometimes causes the cylinder to grind and lock up a bit. Now onto installing the new spring. First of all, we need to put the spring into the cylinder and over the spring guide, and then put the piston over the spring, and finally use the cylinder head to lock that all into the cylinder. You can tighten it with your hand at first, but you're going to need to use your needle nose pliers to torque it down properly to get a good air seal. With that all reassembled, we can slide it back into the receiver, making sure it aligns properly with the mock bolt head. Now we can open the cylinder back up a bit and put on our loading fin. Be careful at this stage because the C-clip likes to ping off while you try and put it on. Once it's all on, align the loading fin with the loading ramp and close the bolt. Now we can put the trigger box back on and do up its 4 screws. With that all firmly in place, we can then take our spring guide stopper, push it in, and then use the hammer to gently tap it fully into battery. Now that our mechanics are back together, let's put the wood back on. Starting with the lower handguard, we can align it around the magwell and lock it down into place, making sure we slide the locking nut up into its recess, and then we can attach the screw to that nut. With it held in place up there, we can then put our magwell insert back in and do up both the trigger guard screw and the magwell screw. Now we can reinstall the upper handguard and then put the barrel band back around it, and then reattach the front sling loop to the barrel band. Now to finish it off, we can slide the nose cap back on and reinstall its 2 screws to fasten it in place. And there we have it, a Lee Enfield with a new spring installed.